We are going to discuss about the important property which decides the cooling and heating load calculations in air conditioning systems, that is psychrometry. So in this discussion we are going to discuss about some important points. So what is psychrometry, what is the concept behind that, and what are all the psychrometric properties, and what are all the psychrometric processes, and how to use the psychrometric chart. So these are the topics that are going to discussed here. So what is psychrometry? So the atmospheric air contains so many gases, oxygen, nitrogen, and some inert gases, and in addition to these gases we are having water vapor also. So if the atmospheric air contains no water vapor, means that is called dry air. So we cannot see dry air in most of the climate conditions. So we can treat the air as a mixture of water vapor and dry air, because the composition of dry air remains relatively constant in all the areas, but the amount of water vapor will differ from place to place, because due to condensation and evaporation takes place from oceans, lakes, rivers, showers, and even from the human body also. So due to this process we can take the atmospheric air as a combination of dry air plus water vapor. So this is the study of science of atmospheric air. Then what are all the psychrometric properties that will affect the psychrometric process? Dew point temperature, relative humidity, dry bulb and wet bulb temperature, and then psychrometric ratios. So these are the main properties which decides the psychrometric processes that has to be considered in the air conditioning process. So what is a dew point temperature? So if you are living in a very humid area, we can notice that in the morning, if you are waking up in most summer mornings, and we can find the grass wet. So it did not rain the night before, but why the dews are formed, how the drops are formed? The excess moisture in the air that is simply condensed on the cooled surface, forming this dew. So that the temperature at which this dews are formed, this is called dew point temperature. Then humidity. So the amount of water vapor or moisture can be specified in different ways. So we can specify the moisture content in two different ways. One is relative humidity and the other one is specific humidity. So specific humidity and relative humidity both will affect the comfort conditions of the human body. The main parameters which decides the human comfort, they are relative humidity and the air motion and the dry bulb temperature. These three are the primary factors which decides the comfort. So most people feel comfortable when the environmental temperature is between 22 to 27 degrees centigrade, that is dry bulb temperature. There will be high relative humidity slows down the heat rejections by evaporation, and if the relative humidity is very low, it speeds the process. So the most of the human beings prefer a relative humidity of 40 to 60%. So these are the general comfortable conditions. So what is relative humidity? Relative humidity means the amount of moisture in the air has a definite effect on comfort of the human being. So the comfort level depends more on the amount of moisture the air holds relative to the maximum amount of moisture the air can hold at the same temperature. So this is the moisture carrying capacity of the air. So if you see the diagram, if the dry bulb temperature is less, means we are having low humidity, and if it rises to 30 degrees centigrade, the rises. Then specific humidity means for taking 1 kg of dry air, how much moisture present or how much water vapor present, that is called specific humidity. So this will be specified in grams per kilogram of dry air. For example, if you are taking 1 kilogram of dry air, how much grams of water vapor are is called specific humidity. Then dry bulb and wet bulb temperature. Dry bulb temperature means the temperature measured by the ordinary thermometer. That is the general atmospheric temperature. This is called dry bulb temperature. So wet bulb temperature is nothing but if the same temperature, if the same thermometer whose bulb is covered with a cotton wick which is saturated with water, and if the air is blown through that, then if we measure the temperature in this manner, this is called wet bulb temperature. So this is commonly used in all the air conditioning applications. So both will decide the comfort condition also. Then we are having so many psychrometric processes. This will be used in the design of air conditioning systems. So sensible heating and cooling, humidification and dehumidification, adiabatic cooling, evaporative cooling, and adiabatic mixing. So these are the general processes which are used in the air conditioning application. So by a sole process or the combination of all these processes will comprise a better air conditions upon the climatic conditions and our requirements. So this is the general flow up of psychrometric chart. So in the psychrometric chart, in the x-axis we are having dry bulb temperature, and in the y-axis we are having specific humidity. So that is specified in W letter. In the x-axis we are having dry bulb temperature, that is specified in small t. Small t means dry bulb temperature. So the dry bulb temperature will start and it will increase from left side to right side, and in the y-axis from bottom to top, the specific humidity value, that is measured in grams per kilogram of dry air, that is specified. So if the sensible heating and sensible cooling process, so in the heating process, without adding any moisture, if the air is heated, that is called sensible heating. So without adding any moisture, if the air is cooled, that is called sensible cooling. So in both these processes, the specific humidity value will be constant, it will not change. But in these two processes, we are having the relative humidity value changes. So it will increase or decrease, depends upon whether it is heating or cooling. So then we will be going for humidification and dehumidification. So humidification means adding moisture to the atmospheric air. So adding moisture means our specific humidity value will increase, and removing moisture from the atmospheric air means the specific humidity value will be decreased. In both these processes also, our relative humidity value will change. So from this schematic we can decide which process has to be carried out first and which process has to be carried out next. So this is the sensible heating and cooling process, this is specified in the psychrometric chart. So this is cooling with dehumidification. Cooling means the dry bulb temperature decreases, and dehumidification means we are removing moisture from the atmospheric air. So in this diagram we are having two different processes. One is ideal process and the second one is real process. The ideal process dew point temperature is somewhat higher than the real process dew point temperature. Then heating with humidification. So in the heating with the dehumidification process, we are heating, that is we are increasing the dry bulb temperature, at the same time we are adding moisture to the atmospheric air. So we are having heating coil and then we are having humidifier section. So from this diagram, if you are clearly observing, means from 10 degrees centigrade, the atmospheric air enters at 10 degrees centigrade and it will be coming out at 22 degrees centigrade from the heating coil. That means our dry bulb temperature will increase from 10 to 22 degrees centigrade. And next it will enter the humidifier section. So in the humidifier section we are sprinkling water. So we are adding moisture to the atmospheric air. So from adding moisture, the temperature increases from 22 to 25 degrees centigrade, and at the same time our specific humidity value will be increasing from lower level to higher level, and relative humidity also changes from nearly 30 to 60 percentage. So all these process will be carried out in the air conditioning systems. So these are the concepts behind the psychrometric process and properties. Thank you.